everyone. Richard. Oh, I got a problem. I can't see myself. Hello. Nick. Hello. How are you, Nick? It's Friday, everyone. Welcome to FMTrain.tv. I'm creator. I'm creator. I am the creator of FMTrain.tv. We have not had quite enough Diet Dr. Pepper today. It's my new flavor we're doing right now. And today is kind of an open Friday Q&A forum. And it's also a chance for you to ask questions that we had from the previous week. And I was going to actually call Jacob and add him into the call. And that way, in case anything interesting happened, how do I add Jacob to the call? Let me see. Add people. Jacob Taylor. So if you guys have server questions at all that come up, we will do that with you. So you will have access. So that's Nick. Say Nick. Hi, Nick. Everyone shake. Wave at Nick. Hello, Jacob Taylor. It's Richard Carlton live on TV. How are you?
Hello, all. Good.
So Jacob is busy salvaging a customer. So would you like to give everyone the hot tip for the moment of what you want to remind people of in terms of their files on FileMaker Cloud servers?
Ooh, absolutely. And this actually applies to both versions of FileMaker Cloud. So the issue that I thankfully successfully resolved this morning is a customer had forgotten their encryption at rest password. And so on the legacy version of the FileMaker Cloud platform, you would have usually put that into the admin console. You upload the file to the server, you go to open the file, and it says, hey, you need to put a password in here. That's your encryption password. When you do that, it encrypts your file using that password. So a lot of people use, for example, their admin console password for that. If you didn't, and you didn't write that password down, and it's now some years later, and you don't remember that password, you may be up a creek and sans paddle. And so you want to, if you're on FileMaker Cloud, if we set you up or somebody else, reach out. We can help. We might be able to help anyway. I can't guarantee anything. If you don't have the password, then you don't have the password. But if you do, and we can figure it out, that's what I did for this customer this morning.
There is generally, if you lose it, you're generally screwed. And when I mean screwed, I mean you may never get your FileMaker file back. This is a reality. So all of the people here are pretty much serious FileMaker people. So let me just give everyone a heads up as a courtesy moment. If you're using FileMaker Cloud 1, which means you're using the original cloud product, which was kind of that hack to set up on Amazon, and it went through version, I guess you can get it. There's an engine for 19 on it, or did it stop at 18, Jacob?
It stops at 18 patch 1.
Okay, so what it is that they went to Cloud 2 where you pay them more money and then they put the service together, but they automatically spin it up. It's much more seamless. I think the problem, so Cloud 1 is actually had more capabilities. Cloud 2 is simpler to set up, but it's more expensive. It's not too bad at the lower levels, but at the higher levels, it gets kind of cost prohibitive a little bit. And so with Claris is, they have that issue, and then it needs to support plugins and other things like synchronization and stuff that 360works does. So anyway, so both of these, in order to use them, you have to encrypt your file, and you've got to write that down. People say, no, never take your password and write it down on a Post-it note, okay? Sticking it on a Post-it note at your desk is infinitely safer than posting it in an email somewhere where someone could get into your email. How many people are going to break into your house for your Post-it notes and then, oh, I want to steal the guy's money. So they're going to break into your house and search your desk for your Post-it notes, okay? That's really unlikely. And people are like, oh, you got to take our security, right? So I can name a couple people in the FileMaker community what I consider security Nazis, and to the point where they're like, they bring up good points, but then they would be, but then they're like, overdo it, right? And so I got people here who would it's like, if you don't have 5 pit bulls surrounding your FileMaker file on the FileMaker server up in the cloud with a team of special commandos protecting it with triple ear passwords, and then you've only written the password down, you've tattooed it inside your lip, right? So that was some movie somewhere they did that. So that's too much. Just please write it down, and please stick the Post-it note somewhere.
The advice that we tell, and it's also a way to kind of communicate the seriousness of it. What I tell people to do is to take the password and print it out, for example, or if you write it down on a sheet of paper or something, that's fine. And then take that sheet of paper, and if your business has a bank vault or a safety deposit box for your, crown jewels of your business or something like that, that is an excellent and appropriate place to store an extra copy of that piece of paper. And so
Okay,
that's what I tell
there's
businesses.
there's a caveat with that, right? And the caveat is that it's like yesterday I lost my car keys, and I realized that I'd put them in a spot that I would need them if I was thoughtful and not stupid. The trick is that if you write it down and put it in the safety deposit box, someone might want to remember that you put it in the safety deposit box and not go crazy when you can't find it. Right? I spent 20 minutes looking for car keys that were already in my pocket, ready to go with me to work. Right? Very stupid. So here's my password. Ready? Right? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. We're set. So sample files that we have today. So we got 2 sample files. I'm trying to get them cooked up for everyone. First off, this is a PDF viewer sample. It takes a PDF that you already have in a container, and it injects it into a web viewer, which gives you some more. So you clear it. So this is your web viewer. This is your PDF. There's a script here. It pushes it into the web viewer. It gives you a little bit kind of juicier, cooler, kind of, read it, kind of look at it, kind of controls. This could be useful. The opposite to this is getting it out of the container. There's a file. It's called, the sample file is a file, Wheat Bricks, or WEETBRICKS. It was one that I was hunting down today. I was actually looking for this right when the broadcast started. If I do a search for this, Wheat Bricks is basically apparently Wheat Bricks are a thing. So what I'm going to do is let me go to Team. It's Team DW Fusion, FileMaker, and QuickBase, Codens, these guys right here. So Codens is trying to steal leads from DW Fusion, right? That's nice. So Digital Fusion comes over here. You come over this way. You can come down here to blogs, and what happens is that down right here they have this is it right here. It's called. I'm going to grab the link right here. I'm going to post it to Discord. Hopefully other people can post it as well. I'm going to put it right here. And the sample file is great right here as well. But basically it allows you to, the idea is the sample file is really quite good. I like to show the stuff off from these folks because they really make great content for the community. Obviously my team makes good content, but these guys really help with their share. So it's called Wheat Bricks. Print web viewer. The idea is to get the web viewer and to get it printed or otherwise rendered out. Because remember, printing out of a browser sucks. And so this is it right here. It goes to explains you what the issues are. What is the problem? Before you have an answer, you have to understand what the problem is. This is the problem. How do we printer capture? There's some APIs involved with this. And so the idea is that you have this web viewer that's really great right here. Like the web viewer could be like from the calendar kit in our calendar, and that's like a really great idea. And then to capture that, and so you run it through this API, magical things happen, and then out comes this into your file, and now you've got a container that you can, it's fairly high resolution if you want. I'm sure you could change the resolution or whatever, and then you can print it with precision, not trying to get a web viewer to print, right? Pretty cool. So this is a really good one. I show this to my staff. It's one I need time to work on, but I've been trying to get the damn book done, so I'm not focused on this. But this one needs to, I think you folks would find this. So this kind of goes out of the web viewer back to container, and the other one is a PDF that goes in here, and this is the PDF viewer sample, and I think I sent that hopefully to Miles. There's another sample file from Kyle. I don't actually understand what this file does yet. So Kyle should be here to keep me out of trouble. I don't know what it does. Some sort of browser navigation button thingy. I don't know what he's doing or what he's doing with this. Tracks the movement between layouts and hides the layouts you're not using. Oh, so it's like a forward back manager. Yeah, we've seen this on and off before. Various businesses have come up with this. I'm not sure how easy this one is to implement. But this would be interesting because people like to go backwards in their history, right? And if you're in a CRM and you're kind of traipsing your way through the CRM, the problem is you're doing finds and doing things like that. And if you go backwards, you go back to layouts, but you don't really, but the layout might have had a specific found set in it. And so you have to unwind that a little bit. Easier said than done. And so I'm not sure how far this one goes. This is well, I think it's free. It's either free or like just about free. So it talks about the API, 1 to 2 seconds. Um, ba, 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 you must caution when using, especially you're using sensitive private. Any information in the API could be stored on the servers on the other end. If your security is a concern, consider purchasing the JS Enterprise. Yeah, so Phantom JS Cloud. I don't know. You could probably. Holy, that's quite a bit right there. But I think this is if you want it super. Oh, premium support. Okay. Yeah, I'd have to go through and dig into this. I'm not prepared to talk about this. I'm pointing this out as an opportunity. Obviously it works for free. If you have a bunch, listen, anytime you send data out to another location, it could be stolen. So if you have a web viewer with very confidential stuff in it, like say we had the calendar and you had the schedule for Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, on the calendar, that's probably confidential. The security detail doesn't want everyone knowing where the guy is going to be. And so the rub is with that is that you could probably set up your own server on Amazon, Jacob Taylor, to do this for you, and you could send the data to that server where it could do it, or pay them and have it do it on theirs, right? I don't know. Jacob, if you want to take a look at this at some place. Right now it says
don't forget your SSL.
yeah. It says get 500 pages for free. So yeah, that's 500 pages a day, so it's basically free for all practical purposes, right? Because most people won't send that many per day. So yeah. So anyway, cool.
That's for no, I know what that is. That's for scraping stuff.
Yeah.
That's why the limit sounds high to you. It's because a person who would hit that limit, 500 is a joke. They're going to do 100,000 pages a day or something like that. And so, but if you're just trying to capture a thing here and there, you want to print one thing out, or you make a couple reports a day, whatever. Like,
yeah. So
well within the free.
Yeah. So we're going to dig into this a little bit more, but I want to throw this out there. A lot of you are advanced developers, and you could make use of this and check this out. I think this is pretty neat stuff. So once again, there's the log and there's the file. And then so you saw so they got the 3 samples here, and then there was a question yesterday. We'll see if the person posts the question. I don't know if that person has posted the question yet. If they don't post the question, we're not going to answer the question. Here's the question. I guess I don't know if this is the same PDF question from yesterday. Can you select multiple? You have a PDF. You select multiple files on your computer and have them go into a container. Okay, if you put multiple files into a container, they have to be combined first. They would have to be zipped together. Makes sense?
Yeah, that wasn't the question.
Okay, PDF question. How can you select multiple files on your computer and have them each go into a container? So each one separately go into a container, like selecting a folder. Is that what the conversation about the folder?
Yeah, like going into a container and create a record. So that I said that's there's a function for that we call import folder. So but okay, that's a downside on it. This is the import. Okay, you can import a folder and you specify the location, okay, and you do, but it can import only pictures and movie files or text files, but they cannot be imported. You can't import Word or Excel files or whatever files you want to import. They need to be pictures or movie. I don't know if that include PDFs. I need to try.
Okay, so yeah, you could try that, but the other way I would suggest doing it here, I'm going to make it slightly smaller here, is we have pretty good file controls now in the FileMaker platform.
Yeah.
You could go open a folder and get the contents of a folder out.
Yeah.
And then using value list management, grab the first file name and the path, and then running an import, basically importing that into a container and scripting it. Right.
The function name is directory. The get directory or something like that. How they call that?
It was get
for the folder path. Because they keep changing it.
Yeah.
So then you have the directory or something. How we call the thing? They changed the name on this.
It's not directory.
Get the list of,
no, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, some of you folks know this. Nick is not the person to demo this one. I need someone else to demo this one. But yeah, that's the idea. You can get all the items in the
default.
in
You
that
can get
folder,
yeah.
and then there you go.
I'm using that in what's the name a lot in the FM gallery. I'm using that a lot. So, but it's a little bit too complicated to explain here. Now, I mean,
if someone wants to build a sample file, that would be a good one. If you want to build a sample file where we identify a folder, and then it grabs everything in the folder and sticks it into a new record in a container. That would be a good sample file to have, because then Moki would pay you for the file, or he would owe you a favor, shall we say, right? So.
Yeah, a discount on the trademark.
Yeah, discount on the trademark, because he always trademark his name. He can't say his name without being in trouble.
Something that I popped to my mind. I think I already have this. This get the list of their. I have a folder navigation like a Finder in FileMaker. I replicated the Finder FileMaker, so you can navigate into FileMaker into your hard drive with. So I have. This file, I need to find it. I'm going to find it and we're going to post it.
Right.
Okay. Before we stop this topic of the PDF here, so my history with PDF, problem with PDF, what can happen, what can be wrong with PDF. Okay. I'm not talking about the Acrobat POS of the in Windows, which is a nightmare because this is what it makes the crash on FileMaker all the time, and we can explain why but later. But this one is a FileMaker only problem. Let's say I want to save this as PDF. Okay, so I'm going here and I say, okay, save as PDF, right? So let's say I have a script here that says save as PDF. So if I launch this script, I have no problem here. But let's say now I'm going to log with a staff another type of privilege, and I said I want to save as PDF, and here what happened? Nothing. And here what happened? You have this weird command is unavailable. For example, wrong operating system or mode. That means nothing to nobody, and it doesn't give you a clue about what happened. So something you need to know. Save as PDF is not export as PDF, it's save as PDF. And the terminology of save as PDF is also wrong because it's print as PDF. They should have called print as PDF. So why now, as staff, why I cannot print as PDF is because in my security here, in my privilege, I have the printing, allow printing that is not checked. So if you have a privilege and you say allow printing no, that means you cannot save as PDF, period. Okay? So that's a problem. So if you don't check this, you won't be able, so you say, oh yeah, but I say allow exporting, so export as PDF is fine. No. It's not export as PDF, it's save as PDF, and it's not even correct. It should be print as PDF or print to PDF, whatever. Print to PDF, okay? So that's what I want to say. Okay, so be careful with this. You can be trapped and stay weeks trying to figure out why it doesn't work, right? And it happened to me recently. That's why I came with that. That's it.
Cool. That's a good one. So we do want to welcome Michael Graver from Montreal, Francisco from Spain, and Amco99 has a question. Oh, okay. So can I ask a question about, please, on dynamic survey, how to make the relationship answers? Okay, so Amco99, that's not really a question. It's kind of like a vague topic right now. So I want to it's on YouTube here. He says, what he says, can I ask a question on dynamic survey? How to make the relationships and choose the questions and the type of answers in a master layout? I could think of 10 different ways of doing that. I need a little more guidance on this in this question.
It is. I think I understood what he wants. It is in the FM Launchpad. I can do a demo right quick if he wants. I think I got what his name? Sorry, what's your name? Off topic. I'm Amanco 99. Sorry if I don't pronounce well. So I know what you mean. You want to do something like this based on the type of object or whatever. Try to extrapolate. Here I have an asset list, okay, and here I have properties. But property for a firewall, right, is not the same property for a cell phone. So you see here I have a list of things and change. So here for a phone system, I have no properties, and for a firewall, I have different other properties, and I have different type of fields. Here for the Linux server, I have those fields. For iPad, I have those with the cell carrier, the SIM, see, I have a value list, and but they all look in the same thing, and you don't have like 200 billion fields, one field for all of those. So that's what you want to do, right? Is you want to have a reflowing of list of records that looks different. Can be a dates, can be a number, can be, see, here I have a menu, see, and here I have a field, here I have a radio button. That's what you want to do. Amanco 99. So this is so this way. For example, let's say I'm going to the system, right, and I'm creating a new asset type I call Nick assets. Okay, this is my type, and I say I want a text which is mandatory, whatever, and I say, okay, this is name, okay, and there's no parameter. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a parameter. Get account name. Okay. Oh yeah, get user name. So you can do something like this, right? You can do okay, hold on. Okay, so get username, right? Then you have a number, and you have a date, and that is date of birth. Okay, this is my date of birth. And this, I want to be a calendar. Okay, so now I have a text which is address. Okay, and that's an edit box. Then I have a text which is the city. So pretty much, I'm creating the field I need. Let's say, for example, state. I want to be like a pop-up menu, and I want a value list for state. Do I have values for state? No. So I'm creating value list that called state here in my system here, and I say, okay, I want CA. Give me states, Wisconsin and New York and whatever, or give me states, Arkansas, AK. What in New Mexico, what we have, or Arizona, Colorado. Okay, so I have my list of states, right? So I create my properties here. I have the state, the city, the address. Okay, so you got the point here, and you say, okay, city is mandatory, date of birth mandatory, and stuff like that. Okay, so this I build my Nick assets. So now I'm going here, and I say I'm creating a new asset here, and the type of the asset is Nick assets. Boom. So the username, I think it's not username, right? It's something else, right? It's get user. I never. It's get user, right? Get user. Yeah, get username. Why doesn't? Maybe I misspelled it. Hold on. Get. Yeah, maybe he didn't like it like this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I forgot there. Okay. So let's go again. So I'm going here. Now I'm creating a new asset, and I said this is a Nick asset, and here I have this. Bam. So Nick Hunter came automatically. Date of birth and city is mandatory. So, and date of birth is a calendar. Okay. Address is a text. City is cities, and state are states. I didn't change the layouts, right? I didn't do anything. I didn't create those fields, but I have a different behavior based on the type of things. So if you want to learn how to do that, it's all for free in FM Launchpad. Okay, so this is that is absolutely powerful when you want to do a type of survey. I think that I'm on Code 99 want to do. Okay, so so this is how to create fields as records in the table, and then you can link all this type of fields. See, this is a calendar, this is a text, this is a pop-up menu that points directly to a value list. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I didn't even go to value list. How I can create a value list? Because everything is intertwined between my value list system here that I created, my asset property management field management that I created here. So explore, learn how I've done this. It's not that complicated. By the way, to make the thing to work very fast, I'm using what we talked last week about the import export on server. I'm using that as a powerful tool because I want things to happen when I import. And remember when I told you last time, when you import and when you export, when you use the import dialog instead of a set field in a loop, you are controlling what's happening on the auto entry calculation and the relookup. And that's why all of this works perfectly, is because I'm using the import dialog and I'm monitoring and I'm controlling what's happening when I'm importing those fields. So that's cool. I could do a session based on this if you guys want. So you know what to do, right? You have the buzz here. If you want this, I can explore all this to explain how to do that. Before I forget, you asked me a question earlier on Slack, Richard, and I sent to you the answer. So I don't know if you saw it. Somebody asked the dimension of iOS devices.
Oh, good luck with that, right?
No, look my screen. I mean.
Well, I know, but all right, okay. I want someone to code all this immediately and build layouts for each one immediately.
No, okay. No, you don't do that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. No, otherwise you have to be smart and use Nicoline Design and your.
No. You know that you have iPhone 5, for example. You can forget it because you need to use the FileMaker Go 1.0 to work on this. Original iPhone, FileMaker Go is not working on this anymore. iPhone 6, I think it's over, or it will be over pretty soon. So you pretty much, and when you build for iPhone 6, you build for iPhone. And something you need to know: the smallest can do the bigger. So what you need to learn to do is to make adaptable layouts for Go, and that is something I'm going to cover in a week of iOS design we have coming up, right?
Well, we could check. So let's go back and do a little of our homework right now here, everyone. So if we want to see the upcoming broadcast schedule, right, here we go. Yeah. This broadcast is brought to you by FMTraining.tv, where you get great FileMaker training. So that's the upcoming schedule. So next week we got virtual bars with Christian, and then we've got handling large data relationships in FileMaker. Global fields. I don't know what that's all about. And then another dead bird next week. Once again, people, if you're going to send me the dead bird stuff, send it to support@RC Consulting. And because otherwise, Kyle's like, hey, didn't you get my files? I'm like, what files, right? And so I'm sitting here in a panic 10 minutes before we go launch trying to find the files. So don't send them to me through Discord. I don't use Discord outside of 1 to 2 o'clock Pacific time, Monday through Friday. So send it to support because we use email and we use FileMaker for our support systems. It allows me to keep track of that. Once again, reminder that we have a couple broadcasts coming up where we're going to be working through. It's basically Bunny / Trixie, kind of brand new FileMaker people learning what they learned with juniors and what was your discovery and stuff like that. So not so much about the advanced widgets, right? So it's just like, making it kind of work. Cool. Cool. So excellent questions, Nick. Oh wait. FM. Marcus on YouTube said, FileMaker, where should you start? So let me answer this question right here. So first off, this broadcast is brought to you by fmtraining.tv. So that's who we are. So Claire's has some training. They have a very little video. They have some video, but not very much. They like to pretend there's a lot of video, but that's actually mostly written text that you read, and then they put a stopwatch to you and you read it. It's not horrible. It's just not video. And so that's what we specialize in. So what we do is we have live training here, which is free, which is where we come in. The problem is that it's from the beginning to advanced. We're all over the place. So the way that I recommend the steps are, it depends on your budget, how you want to learn FileMaker. It depends entirely. A big chunk of it depends upon, that's you, Nick, right there. I'm going to bring myself in over here, go back to the browser. It depends on how you want to learn the platform and what kind of time and budget you have. So basically, if you're going to go learn it on your own, I recommend a training bundle that comes with all our video training. So we have recorded videos that are already animated and organized, where this is kind of this chaotic conversation with TK and Moki and everyone doing crazy stuff and Nick going in circles, and then memes and stuff. Kind of this mayhem, right? All we are missing is the alcohol, and it would be complete, right? Some of these days are more, Fridays are more chaotic than normal because it's kind of like random cleanup for the week. Other days are more structured, but the training is really great. So if you want to support the channel, you want the training, I suggest you check out these links right here. So you go to fmtraining.tv. The live training schedule is a schedule up here, the free stuff. But if you want the dedicated, like, here's a section on relationships, and here's a section on managing containers and documents and things like that. And here's a section on managing a server and deploying a server, or managing backups on a server, or pick the topic. Or here's a section on Go, or a section on the user interface. Nick is, in these live streams, Nick is mostly covering stuff he's already done before in other videos. But you get to ask questions here, which is great. But we already have a section where he already shows how to build in our training bundle. He already shows how to do the user interface in the Go, right? It's already should be in there. If it's not, I need to find out where it went. So my recommendation is this is where you start. In the event, a bunch of the people here are our customers. In the event that you want some one-on-one training and you want it discounted, we have coaching services at about $75 an hour, and that's where you can get a FileMaker coach to help you. People here, Ken Tooley has used that, Elzo's used it, a whole bunch of people here have done that. Some of the people here are experts, can do development themselves. I'm thinking of Lobster and Kyle and Andre and TK and a whole bunch of you that are quite talented developers. So basically, though, what most developers do is they start making, $150, $200 an hour, whatever they're making. And so what we do is we have that, obviously, but we then provide also the discounted hourly rate for a lower level developer to help you learn the basics. So if you're learning the basics and you're brand new, coaching is another thing you can check out. So that's it. So,
to rebound on this coaching business here, because I'm doing that sometime, and it makes sense too, because people say, oh, I'm not going to hire Nick because what I want to do is so simple. And but sometimes, even if you want to do something simple, you could ask RCC and say, okay, hey Nick, can you give us kind of a general guideline, or give us kind of a plan, a roadmap, or a technique to use, which technique to go, and then I'm not doing the big job unless you want me, but then you can hire somebody that maybe more junior and more accessible in terms of price to you, right? But you not do it, or you can do yourself, but you don't do mistakes.
Yeah. So basically it depends on your budget how you do training. If you're totally broke and you can't afford anything, then you just get the free training on YouTube and you get what you get. The next step up above that is buying the video bundle training course, and then the next step above that is a coach, and the next step above that is you just dump it on someone else like Nick or another senior engineer or Kyle or TK or whoever, and you pay them however many hundreds of dollars an hour, and they just build it for you. It just depends on what your budget and your target is. I do have a new question. Francisco says, is it possible to use a script to duplicate records for creating a new record in another file? Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're actually going to be covering that immediately in the broadcast. He saw this a second ago in the FileMaker When we get into this conversation with juniors and stuff, we're talking about duplicating records, duplicating found sets. There's I would get Marcus. I would ask for a free coaching session. Just email support on that, because it's more than what I want to do right here. Probably it's pretty simple, but ask for if you folks need a free coaching session. I'm not talking about TK trying to get Nick to give him a free hour. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about legitimately brand new junior people. If you need a free coaching session, email support. We will set you up with a free coaching session with someone. For 1 hour, and then you can decide to go from there. But maybe Marcus in that hour we can answer your question. He's like, oh, not Marcus, but Francisco. Apologize. Well, Marcus too, if you want. Actually, yeah, Marcus and Francisco. If possible to script for duplicate records. Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, there's several questions there. Nick, you want to just take a swing at that? Well, Ken's asking a question. Does Nick do an evaluation of a solution? What could be better? Yeah, I mean, if you're going to pay, the problem is if you're going to pay Nick, I mean, realistically, the minimum is probably about 5 hours of work, right? It's not like 30 minutes of work. He's going to get in there. People, yeah, that's the problem with that. So just understand he's not an inexpensive resource on that. Only in French. Yeah. But yeah, Nick, do you want to? I mean, talk about duplicating records and stuff.
Actually, that's a good that's a good topic, because when you go, let's say you have a house and you have a problem in the house. You have something that is cracking. You see something. You have some leaking when it's raining and stuff like that. You're not going to call your handyman. You're going to call a guy that's going to do an evaluation of the structure of the building and stuff like that. Evaluate the damage, and of course start telling you the best solution to fix the things. Okay, so that's pretty much what you do when you hire an expert. Okay, so you have the handyman that is good to fix a kind of outlet in the corner, but when you want to do something like more, let's say, structural of an importance in the structure of your file, you need to hire an expert. And sometimes maybe the money you will pay up front for the evaluation and the guidelines and stuff. So let's say you hire me to say, okay, Nick, I want an evaluation of my file. I want you to tell me what's wrong, what I need to fix. Richard, you can confirm that we have so much experience. We know where to look at. Even by how your relationship map looks like, we can tell you where the problem is. Just how it looks, we can tell you the problem. We can tell you the problem when you have the list of layouts. When we explore some layout, we can say, okay, I understand. I know where the problem is. We know how to fix. We know how. We can give you guidelines. We can tell you, okay, you need to fix that first, because then you can fix this and stuff like that. And we can give also with a list of telling you, okay, this is definitely, you need to go, you need to fix this, you need to fix that, and after that you have a list of nice to fix, not nice to have fixed. Okay, so definitely that's something we can do, and as that's something I encourage you to do. That will save you thousands and thousands of money and hundreds of hours of work and rework and gray hairs. Okay, in the future. So yeah, sometimes it is worth it.
So we did have a question on the from Florence on the Twitch side, and he's asking about custom functions yesterday, the file you're using with the get layout number functions, etc.
Yes.
So what file is that you were showing? I'm sure we've already put it out there. I just have to give him the link, but I don't know what file you're using.
The go to layout file I sent to you yesterday.
Oh, God, I got another file I got to do. All right, I got to step away again. Nick, you're up. You better keep dancing on TV. I got to go get another file.
Okay, yeah. So I just love to see Nick's from yesterday. Is custom function get we had me greatly not bust my. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the file I sent. So if you want, you guys, I can refresh your mind a little bit what the file you're going to get soon. I sent to the boss, but I just what's the name? I just sent it to to Slack. I didn't tell him, hey, you have this. So yesterday I did this file where I'm showing you many ways to not broke things and prevent things to be broke very easily when you rename stuff and stuff like that. And that's what his name. MJ24 from YouTube. So that's what you want, right? This, you want this. So this this bar here, it's a function, it's a menu bar that you can just copy as is and paste in your solution, but you need to use those custom functions here, this one, and this one. If you don't have those free custom function before you copy paste, you break the thing. So you need to import those free custom function first.
Make sure you should share your screen, because I think you're referring to your.
Okay. Sorry guys. Forgot to. Yeah. Thank you for. So.
No.
Yeah.
Good.
So it was the. So what we were mentioning is this bar here, right? So this bar. This is a navigation. Whatever you do, if you rename the layouts, you rename the layout hello, and you close it. It says hello now. So by renaming the layout, the button name change. So that's kind of cool. Okay, and so you have this, and of course you can reflow. You can reflow the thing by just moving the button inside. And so what I was saying is, before to copy paste this object, there's no need of scripts, no need of scripts, no need of fields, any kind. So you just copy paste. But before to copy paste, what you need to do, you need to import into your system, those free custom function here, the get value position, the get layout number, and the get layout name. You need those free custom function. So you just import them using import. You select your file, and then you select my file and you import, and then you can copy paste those anywhere in your solution. It will work perfectly without any intervention, without modifying anything. So that's what we are going to tell. That's what we are going to give you.
Okay, I just posted the file to everyone just now, so
okay.
That's
yeah. So it's kind of cool, because here you're going to learn how not to do things, and so the green button is the right way to do how to make the navigation. It's very cool. That actually this is a navigation that I'm going to use more often now, especially when you have a file when you don't have a lot of navigation. Like sometimes I have a lot of buttons here. This is when you have a more than 10 button. This is not a good technique. It's not a good way to show it. Or the beauty of it, the beauty of this system. That's why I love the button bars, is because you can have a vertical navigation, but you can also have a horizontal navigation, but also you can have a vertical navigation. So you can have this kind of navigation. So you can have both ways, and you can put it you can put it horizontal. You can put it on the bottom if you want. For iOS devices on the bottom. So it's very cool. It's very cool. Yeah. So
Mookie's asking the question about, if you want to look at that. He says, so all the fields in the table. Yeah, we name the tables. And because the tables drive the main TO and the anchor buoy. And so whenever we see that, we know what table, whenever we see a field and it says TO7 or something, blah, 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 then we know that we're dealing with a layout that deals with TO7, right? It helps us as we run to a relational diagram to find, we just look for TO7 and we're off to the races, right? So, it's a naming convention. We had that, we talked about that previously.
We have a neat document also here. I call that the coding standard. What I can say about the coding standard or the naming convention, whatever you want to call it. I work sometime on the file that doesn't have the coding standard. It has the whatever standard. It's because it's a file that has been built by 3 other people before me. And so it's a nightmare. Okay, so when I've worked on this file, I'm wasting 25% of my time trying to find things. 25% of my time is wasted because I don't have the coding standard. Just to let you know.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna pivot to a last question here that was asked before. Michael, did you? Yeah, you should have posted this earlier. Jacob Taylor, you still there?
Yes, sir.
We're going to let you wrap up today's broadcast. So Michael Gravel's got a really great question. So he says on YouTube, our new partners from Calgary are experiencing delays from the server, which is located in Michigan. The ping time, I guess, from the people who are the partner people is 55 milliseconds, which is not bad, right? Anything below 100 should be kind of make FileMaker work. So,
and anything under 60 is pretty decent.
Yeah, now Claris officially says anything under 150, but my number is 100. And with an ability to be one and a half.
Under 100.
Yeah. And then so what could be, okay, so I hate to say that, I mean, the flip answer here is lean design is probably the problem, Michael, but if you, I mean, basically we're talking about performance, right? So, I mean, from a server standpoint, Jacob Taylor, you would want to make sure. Listen, once again, as a reminder to everyone, I'm gonna bring myself back up here a little bit with Jacob here. You cannot buy enough server to compensate for bad FileMaker design. Now, Michael, I'm not saying your design is bad. I'm saying this generically for the 50 or 60 people that are watching this conversation. If you make a database full of summary fields on every layout and unsorted calculations that cause this churn to go on, we talked about performance and things like that, you can't buy a server big enough to compensate for those issues. So my suggestion would be, if you just want to look at the hardware side of it, and which is maybe 10%, make sure your drives are solid state drives. Make sure that the machine has lots of RAM. I don't build FileMaker servers. If I have a physical server, I don't build it with less than 16 gigs. Jacob runs around sometimes with 8 gig servers, and I guess with Linux you might be able to get away with that. I think that's a little on the light side. I'd prefer a 16 gig server, especially if you have 15, 20 people using the server. Now, if you have solid state drives and it's reasonably installed and you get 55 milliseconds, then it's not a server problem. You've got a design problem in the file, and the question is, how do you want to address that design file, the design problem, right? So I don't, it really, it becomes, I mean, the answer is to, I mean, if you could afford it, is to parachute Nick onto your head and let him tear it apart. Any of my senior engineers are going to be able to help you with this. Out there that could help you with it. Michael, I don't know what your skill set is, but once again, we have the performance videos where we talk about lean design, but boy, I tell you, summary fields.
I would basically add, there's a couple questions too that aren't solution related, like design wise, structure and calcs and this sort of stuff, that I could still ask, but they're these days they're a smaller effect. So if whoever that partner organization is, so basically if you guys you don't have any real issue with the solution, and so the difference is this other organization's either farther away from the server, say twice the distance, and you're like in the office or something, whatever, then any your local network is basically going to paper over any of those issues you might have with the solution. It won't paper over all of them. You would actually still even see a benefit from fixing those issues, but there's a lot that a gigabit wired connection to a server can do for you to make those things not apparent to you. The other thing that I would look at is, and it's just because I run into it often enough, if the partner organization is, for example, on a bunch of laptops and they're all on Wi-Fi, just by chance, see if they can wire in their computers or something like that. It may not be that there's anything necessarily wrong with their Wi-Fi or anything like that, but just how those things work, you tend to have worse performance, and it tends to be more unstable performance as well. And that creates bad user experiences. Or at RCC, we basically wire everything, so if possible.
Yeah, the wireless is literally left for iPads and iPhones. We don't try to do beyond that. So there's a separate conversation on Discord going on about records and this, that, and the other thing. I'm going to stay clear of that because it's after 10 minutes after the top of the hour, so we're running late here. But I wanted Michael, listen, I don't know how you want to handle this, but I I take it. I want to make sure that all the people that come here every day have the level of support they need, and they are not left abandoned without the assistance. So if you've got a problem and you want someone to like log in and spend 15-20 minutes with you and just kind of look at this thing a little bit and see what's going on, but we need a little more data. We need to establish that it works for you, you're doing exactly the same thing, and it doesn't work for them, right? And that you did the ping test from your office and then did a ping test from their office. Give us some more data points, and then what we can do is log into the file from here and see how it works from California. It would probably be much longer than 55 milliseconds, and then we could, maybe help you with that a little bit. At least give you some guidance on where to go, right? I'm not going to do this for everyone. Obviously, people hear this in the conversation, but all the people who come in here routinely, I don't want you to feel like Richard's here just to screw everyone over. I want to make sure that you're having a good experience with FileMaker. And if you get jammed up, I may not fix it for you, but I'd love to direct you on where to fix it. It may be just lean design. You may have to go through and find one item at a time and fix it, and then test and see what that affects things, right? Very important. But yeah, why don't you reach out to support at RC Consulting if you want, or if you've got someone else, consultancy that's around there that's local and you trust them more, whatever, that's fine. Talk to someone who really deals with this all the time, and then they would be able to help you with this, okay? Cool. So Nick, you guys are still having this conversation over there about copying and pasting XML and whatever else. Christian Olson will be here next week. If you're done about copying and pasting and layouts and stuff, he's done some interesting stuff using add-on modules lately with that. There's been some interesting hacks. I would call it a hack, doing stuff to bring things together. Interesting. Anyway, but I want to check and see if we have any final questions at all. Nick, you there? Any final questions?
Nothing that we can cover in the last minute or two.
Right. Okay, cool. Yeah, so sample files send to support RC Consulting, and then once again, we're going to be back next week with the broadcast schedule. I'm going to bring this up real quick, and we got Christian Olson 2 days next week, pretty advanced topics, and then it might be a little bit simpler later in the week. So with that, everyone, appreciate it. Thank you to Amy, Sheely, TK, Canberra, Moki, M. Johnson, Kyle, the other Kyle, John Haggard, Jericho, Gudidi, Foxy Jack, Elza, Dave 1, Dave 2, Dave 3, Canberra, TK, Tommy. Hey, Tommy, I don't remember talking to you. Tommy, Delta 18 at Delta 18. Sounds like airline Tommy at D18. Gate D18 boarding Tommy, right? The Afferlund, which is in Utah, I believe, where he's at. Welcome, obviously. And then, obviously, Francisco and Michael and Marcus and everyone else on YouTube and the Lurkers. And then Amco, Beep Beep, AMCO. Used to be a commercial for those guys. And Florence. And that's it. We will catch you Monday. Thanks.
Guys just stepped up the whole way. Calm, cool, collected. The quarterback, great read, good patience. More importantly, great job up front protecting this quarterback to give you a chance. And that's all you can ask for.
Trying to rally down 10. 9:25 to go here in the fourth. Short motion by Amendola from the left. Brady takes the shotgun snap, stands in, throws it left for Amendola, reaches up and snacks a high throw and lands inside the 10, rolling to the 9. Ball slightly behind him, but Danny makes the grab.